Romel, and I'm coming to you today to talk to you about a company called Zuma Worldwide. Before I start that, let me say this to you. I am by profession a mortician. I've been in the funeral industry for 25 years, and I'm the embalmer at the funeral home. So I have a very special relationship with the human body. But besides that, I'm an educator. I've been teaching English in the public school system for about 5 years, and decided that things are going to change for me. And I hope after this presentation you'll make a decision that some things are going to change for you. I'm also an author of 2 books. I'm a pastor's wife and a mother of 2. I was approached by a friend of mine about this company, and I never had any interest in a multi-level marketing company. That was not my thing. I was not into that. But I was always concerned about my health. And I've been using different herbs and supplements and whatnot for about the last 25 years to keep my health on track, and recommending these things to my friends. But I saw that people were not really sure when they go into a supplement store, well, what should I get? I have this, I have that, the high blood, the cancer, blah, blah, blah. And there's just a plethora of supplements all over the walls, and people are really not sure what to get. And so it made it kind of difficult sometimes giving advice to my friends. And so I said, Lord, please, just give me something simple. Something simple that I could explain, that people would understand, and that was affordable and accessible. So about 2 months ago, a dear friend of mine, Diane Chapman, approached me about Zuma Worldwide and a product that is changing the health of a generation. It's called Extreme X2O, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that today. But I just want you to know that this product has completely transformed my life. I lost 10 pounds in a month and a half. 10 pounds less of myself than I was 2 months ago. My skin has changed. My attitude has changed. I changed the skin, attitude, and bodies of my family members. And I want to make that available to you. So that's why I'm here today. Not here to try to yank your chain or to bamboozle you in any kind of way. I'm a real person who had real physical issues, and I'm correcting those issues with the products offered by this company. So let's get right into it. Zuma Worldwide. Zuma Worldwide is an 18-year-old debt-free company located in Hampton, Virginia. It has a beautiful 40,000 square foot facility and an international operation in over 65 countries. Now, the mission of this company is to provide the finest quality wellness products and offer outstanding leadership, customer service, and education. They offer you marketing tools for all of their independent distributors, things that will help you get the word out to your friends and those you love. The motto of this company is changing the health of a generation, and that's key, because if you're going to have any product in your life, you want to make sure that that product is accessible and usable for your entire family. That's the wonderful thing about Zuma. I'm using it, my husband's using it, my daughters are using it, my granddaughter is using it, my mother is using it, my father is using it. It is cross-generational. This is not something that's just for a particular group of people. It's not just for women or men or kids or adults. It's for everybody. Now, there are 2 problems plaguing people today. The first one is widespread illness, and I like to say widespread ignorance. One of the reasons a lot of people are so sick is because we've lost the connection to our bodies. We don't understand how they work, we don't understand what they need, and we put that responsibility in the hands of doctors and the medical profession. And they do the best they can, we assume. But one thing that we're going to have to do if we're going to change the health of a generation is we're going to have to make sure that that generation understands what the body needs and how it works. And so the first component of this company is the education. There's no point in me putting a product in your hand if you don't understand what it's going to do in your body. And so we're going to spend some time today understanding how the body works, understanding how the body responds to certain substances we enter into our system. The second problem plaguing the world today is a failing economy, not just in the United States. Economies around the globe are struggling. People do not have the luxury of going and working on a job for 30, 40, 50 years and retiring and having it going on, so to speak. You don't have that luxury anymore. As a matter of fact, in education, we have to tell our students that they have to be prepared to maybe change careers 5, 6, 7 times in their lifetimes. That was never the case before. You used to go to college, get an education, get on a job, work that job, retire, and you're set. It doesn't work that way anymore. And so we have to make sure that we have means of creating wealth for our families and moving that wealth down the generations. And I'm telling you today that Zuma Worldwide is prepared to help you have that as an option if you choose to join this company. Now, back to the education. If you're talking to anyone, like I'm talking to you today about Zuma, one thing that you have to understand is that the main component involved in our health is controlling our alkalinity. If a person is acidic, it's a matter of time before they'll be sick. The alkalinity scale runs from 0 to 14. 0 is acidic, 14 is alkaline, or basic. 7 is neutral. The human blood is at 7.365 for optimal health. We drop anywhere below 7.365, we open ourselves up for disease to set in and to take over our bodies. Here are 2 culprits. And we have Coke and Diet Coke listed here, but you could easily substitute Pepsi, Diet Pepsi, Sprite, Diet Sprite. You name the soda, that's it. Soda is one of the main culprits in American society that's causing our systems to be highly acidic. Coca-Cola is 2.8 on the pH scale. Diet Coke is 1.5. Let me digress and say a little bit here about sodas. Now, we know that pretty much everything in this country, and other countries too, are controlled by lobbyists petitioning Washington to support their products. Now, our government is perfectly aware of all the dangers involved with these sodas, but we know that money talks. So you're going to have to go beyond the advertisements, the promotions, all the propaganda that is telling you that these things are good for you, and think about it. A Coca-Cola is so acidic you could take a T-bone steak and sit it in a bowl of Coke for 4 days and come back and there will not be even a bone in the bowl. Ladies and gentlemen, it is something you want to put in your body. Let me tell you something about diet sodas. All diet sodas have in them a substance called aspartame. Aspartame, when it enters the human body, and this is significant considering the fact that I'm an embalmer, aspartame, when it enters the human body and it heats up, turns into an alloy of formaldehyde. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm an embalmer. I embalm bodies. I preserve tissue with formaldehyde. And here we have, since 1982, a substance where the government has known since 1982 that this substance would cause cancer. They closed their eyes. I guess the money from the lobbyists were flowing pretty good in 1982. And they let this thing go out in the form of NutraSweet, aspartame in diet drinks, diet yogurts, all, you name it. If you see aspartame on a label, run. Treat it like a rattlesnake. But they knew that this stuff was very, very dangerous. If you were to see the incidence of cancer, all cancers, from 1982 to the present, on a graph, you'd see it move just like this. It's spiked. Okay? And that's because we were told, NutraSweet is, well, I want you to know that we've been bamboozled. We've been told that this was going to be good for us. We've been told it's going to improve our lives. And all that it's done is made us fatter and made us more cancer-ridden. We have to make sure that we turn this thing around. You have to educate your children. You have to educate your family members. There should not be one person sitting beside you with a soda in their hand and you not say something to them once you've known this information. Last night my husband and I were at the beach. A lady and her husband were sitting beside us. She was drinking a Coke. He was drinking a Diet Coke. They did not get out of that restaurant without hearing from me about this problem. They had 2 little children there that they're setting an example for. And so they had to know before they left that table with me the dangers they were putting themselves in and the example that they were setting for their children. We are going to turn the health of a generation around. But we can't do it when we have information and we sit on it. That's why this video is being made for you, so that you'll be equipped, so that you'll have that holy boldness to go out and say, look, this is what you're doing to your body. Now, let me tell you something else about acidity and dehydration. Acidity and dehydration are associated with various ailments. Among them are heart issues such as high blood pressure. And we're going to talk a little bit more in this presentation about why that's the case. But let me just say this, that when you are acidic, first of all, the blood vessels constrict. That's the first thing that happens. The second thing that happens is the blood vessels actually coagulate. The red blood vessels coagulate and cause clots and this kind of thing to force against those constricted vessels. So if your arteries are constricted and you have a clot forming, what you have is this narrowing, and then something is trying to go through a narrow opening. If you were to close off a water hose and turn the water up high, what's going to happen in that water hose is you're going to have a high pressure. That's what happens in the human body when we're acidic. You've basically thickened up the blood, causing it to clot, and you've constricted the water hose, the blood vessel. And so as the blood is pumping through, you have this constriction, you have this clot coming down, boom, the blood pressure goes up. It's basic. This is not rocket science. But let's talk about some of the other issues, and we'll come back to blood pressure when we get to that. But cancer, diabetes, low energy levels, weight gain and aging. Weight gain, what does that have to do with acidity? When we are acidic, our body produces fat to try to protect the internal organs from the acid. When there is no acid, there's no need for that fat. The body burns it as energy. We slim down. I have a lady in my church right now. She is a paralyzed individual. About 34 years ago, an 18-wheeler was coming behind her car. She saw it, was not going to stop. She had her 3 little children on the back seat. She jumped back in the back seat to cover her kids. That truck rolled over her and broke her back. She's been paralyzed for 34 years. Recently, her weight was just getting way, way out of control. She thought there was nothing she could do. This woman can't move. She can't go to the gym. She's in a bed all the time, unless she's getting in her wheelchair to go to the doctor or to church or shopping or whatever. She called me, and she responded to my call when I was calling her about this product. I said, Sister Francis, I don't know if it'll help, but I certainly know it won't hurt. She started drinking this water, this X2O water. And she called me this past weekend, a month and a half after drinking this water, to announce to me, Lady Bromell, I'm down from a size 24 to a size 18. I said, Sister Francis, are you kidding me? She says, I'm not kidding you. I went to buy a size 20 capris and have room. And her granddaughter said, well, Grandma, maybe you should have gotten 18. Her weight is coming down because the acidity in her blood is in check. And once your blood is alkaline, that fat has no purpose in terms of protecting the internal organs, and it's going to burn. And that's what's happening with her. Her body's slimming down. Not only is her body slimming down, her blood pressure was high. She called me this past Sunday. Lady Bromell, my nurse just left my house. My blood pressure is 124/72. I said, you better stop. She says, no, I'm telling you the truth. I am seeing people. I've heard these stories, but when you know people personally, in your own personal circles, who are experiencing these results, it is mind-blowing. We have got to get this word out, and that's why I'm here talking to you today. Arthritis and gout, another issue associated directly with acidity and dehydration. When the blood is acidic, the body has a mechanism for handling a certain amount of that acid. It can process a certain amount of it. It's going to excrete it on out through the kidneys and this kind of thing. But if we become overly acidic, what happens then is the body has to start storing this acid somewhere. And so what it does is it stores it in these little crystals, uric acid crystals. And those little uric acid crystals, they just kind of float along in the blood like everything else. And sometimes they'll leach out and they'll end up in very sensitive areas or weak parts of your body, like the big toe, the joints, the elbows, the knees, the hips. And when enough of those crystals get in there and they start irritating those nerves, Well, we have an irritation that's called arthritis. And what happens is, if you were to see one of those crystals under a microscope, it looks like what we call down here in the country a cockabarrel. It's a little sticky thing. You walk out in the grass, they stick on your socks, and oh my goodness, if you ever get one in your shoe, you'll know it, because it's going to feel like a toothache. If you ever had a toothache, that's what gout feels like. That's what arthritis feels like. It's like a toothache in the joint. And it's because those little acid crystals are in there irritating those nerves. Of course, to irritate the nerves, the body goes into rescue mode. It rushes water to those areas to try to buffer, try to soothe that area, cool it down, so to speak. But what ends up happening is that joint will swell. The reason that joint is swelling is because the body's trying to cool it. Because that acid crystal is in there irritating those nerves, just like when you have a toothache. This X2O water that we're going to be talking about today gets in there, breaks those crystals down, flushes that stuff out through your kidneys. No more arthritis, no more gout. It's as simple as that. When you know better, you do better. Acid reflux, that's a no-brainer. If you're highly acidic, you need to have minerals in your system that are going to neutralize acid. X2O water is loaded with minerals and does just that. Acid reflux should be a thing of the past once you start using this product. Migraine headaches. Migraine headaches, a lot of migraine headaches are due to constipation. And if you're constipated, you need minerals to have a bowel movement. X2O water is loaded with minerals that help your colon to work properly, thereby removing waste. Migraine headaches are a direct result of auto-intoxication. If you're constipated, that means that toxins are continuing to circulate throughout your system, poisoning your system. Naturally, you're going to have a headache if you're that toxic. Naturally, you're going to have a headache if you are dehydrated. Your brain is 80% water. If you're dehydrated, your brain isn't getting what it needs. It's meaning your head will eventually begin to hurt. And a migraine headache, obviously, is the worst headache. Dehydration is the very worst thing you could do for your head or your brain. Water retention. Water retention? What do you mean water retention? If I'm dehydrated, why would I be retaining water? Your body is very, very smart. And your body knows that if you're dehydrated, I can't afford to sweat. I can't afford to have to use the bathroom. I can't afford to do anything to lose the little bit of liquid that is in my body. And so what happens is the body starts holding on to water in a desperate attempt to keep you hydrated. Once you hydrate your body, the excess water releases itself. It doesn't have to have this survival mode on. You become like a camel when you're dehydrated. Camel has humps, you have lumps, okay? It's as simple as that. Don't be a camel. Go ahead and drink your water so your body won't have to harbor water in all the wrong places, such as your ankles, your legs, and places like that. Okay, the right product. Healthy living water. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody drinks water or should drink water because the body is 80% water. The body is 70% water. The blood is 80% water. Your brain is 80% water. And unfortunately, most of us, most of the human race, we are 90% of us dehydrated all the time. 90%, that means only 10% of the human family are actually getting the proper hydration. Only 10% of the world is controlling the wealth of the world? Sounds like a formula for me. This information was found in the ReadersDigest.com August 2011 edition. If you get that magazine, you read that article, you'll see what we're talking about. This is a pet peeve of mine. I've always thought that drinking water from our tap drinking water from our tap was a little different. But when I read this article, I said, oh boy, I was right on to something. So 20 some odd years ago, when I started drinking bottled water, buying filtration systems to go on my system, I knew that I was on to something. Drinking water from our tap, ladies and gentlemen, is nothing more than recycled sewage water. The water that you flush down your toilet is the same water that you're drinking from your tap. Therefore, it stands to reason that we have all of these contaminants in our drinking water. Some of the things they found in drinking water were whole vitamins. And that is because, ladies and gentlemen, in order for vitamins to actually be used by the body, you have to have minerals. If you don't have minerals in your system, the bodies have nothing to adhere to, and so what you end up with is expensive urine. That's why a lot of people who are down on vitamins is because all of these whole vitamins are being found in people's urine. That wouldn't be the case if people had the proper alkalinity of their bodies and the proper mineralization of their bodies to use the vitamins. Also, in that contaminated tap water, they found rocket fuel, birth control pills, mercury, cadmium, and the list goes on. Okay, so can't drink tap water. Let's talk about bottled water. Bottled water is what we call empty or dead water here at Zuma Worldwide, because most bottled water does not have the proper mineralization that you need for your body. Distilled water has no minerals, and then a lot of the bottled waters that we find, not only are they mineral deficient, but they're acidic. Matter of fact, just go on and Google sometimes the water that you're drinking. Type in what is the pH of this water and find out. You can best believe it's not going to be the 7.365 that you need for your body. And even if it is, you can believe it doesn't have all of the vital minerals and electrolytes that you need for the proper function of your organs and tissue. Dr. Linus Pauling, two-time Nobel Prize winner, said it best. He said, you can trace every sickness, every disease, every ailment to a mineral deficiency. And we know that to be true. So what water should we drink, Poyet? Tap water, bottled water, filtered water? Well, the answer is, ladies and gentlemen, you should not drink any water unless that water is fortified with extreme X2O. So what is extreme X2O? Well, some people call it a mineral water because of the amazing benefits it provides. Some people call it a weight loss water or fitness water because it seems to have the top secret key to weight loss and fitness. But the real deal is Extreme X2O is real water enhancement that you simply add to the water that you're currently drinking. So ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter if you're drinking tap water. It doesn't matter if you're drinking bottled water. It doesn't matter what kind of water. It doesn't matter if you go down to the creek and get you some water. The thing is, whatever water you're drinking, clean it up, fortify it with minerals and electrolytes using X2O. Now, I want us to go back to this miracle water situation. I want you to know that I'm a believer, but I don't want you to get into, if you're talking to your family and friends saying, oh, this is a miracle water, ooh, 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 it's going to do some miraculous things like magic. No, no, no. People are not crazy. People are very practical. If you tell people that this water has 70 trace minerals and 40 some odd electrolytes to actually cause the pH of our bodies to go up and stay up at that 7.365 level, if you tell them that and get them to understand the importance of that, then the miracle is only this, that they actually go on our website and order the water. That's the miracle, that people care enough about themselves to actually do it. That's the miracle. The miracle was that I listened to Diane Chapman when she called me about this. That's the miracle. The miracle is that we love ourselves and that we love our families enough to do what's necessary to be healthy, to be whole. That's the miracle. Extreme X2O, it's a little tea bag-like sachet. It neutralizes chemicals in the water. It transforms the water into alkaline water. It infuses over 70 organic trace minerals. It reduces the water molecule. Let me explain that for those of you who may not understand what I'm talking about when I say that. If you've ever put sodium bicarbonate in water, like when you were soaking your feet or doing something like that, you notice that that water gets really, really soft. People in the north who have hard water, they may use sodium bicarbonate sometimes to soften the water so it'll make a nice suds when they're washing their hands or their hair or washing their bodies. Well, that's what minerals do to water. They actually break the molecule down. They reduce the water molecule, break the surface tension of the water so that the water will go directly into the vascular system. The reason I can drink 7, 8 bottles of X2O water a day, I'm talking about 20-ounce bottles a day, and not feel bloated is because this water is not just sitting in my gut. This water, as soon as I take it into my body, because of the trace minerals, goes directly into my blood vessels. It goes right across the cell membrane. The molecules are small enough, they've been reduced enough that they diffuse right across the cell membrane, oxygenate my red blood cells, take out the toxins, infuse the infuse the oxygen, and move on through the system. That's why we say that Extreme X2O hydrates at the cellular level. It detoxes at the cellular level. And of course it promotes anti-aging. You've seen what happens when you pour good water on a flower. Take some rainwater, which is just like X2O. It's what God gave us. It's loaded with minerals. It's loaded with electrolytes. And pour it on a flower. All of a sudden, if that flower was drooping, it stands up. That's what happens to us. We plump out. And so that's where the anti-aging comes in. If you're dehydrated naturally, you're going to wrinkle up. You're just like that little flower. You're all wilted. But as soon as you start drinking this water, you pump up, you plump up. You start looking fabulous. You start looking like you did 20 years ago. Okay? And your energy comes back. It promotes weight loss. We talked about this earlier. If you don't have that acid in your blood, you have no need for that excess fat. It goes away. Now, let's go back to this alkalinity scale. Okay, we have acidity down here at 0. We have alkalinity over here at 14. You see our two little culprits down there on the acidic side, those sodas and diet sodas. You see where your blood's supposed to be, 7.365. Ladies and gentlemen, let me show you something. Extreme X2O will take your water to 9.9 on the pH scale. 9.9 on the pH scale, ladies and gentlemen. But maybe you're saying, I hear you talking. I hear you talking. But, you know, how does this really play out in the real world? Well, let's talk about the real world. Can we talk about the real world? Let's talk about how acid really affects your blood. Okay, here's a picture of human blood that's healthy, oxygenated. The hemoglobin is intact. That little white spot you see on the screen, that is a white blood cell, a healthy white blood cell. That's what healthy alkaline blood looks like. Let me tell you something about a red blood cell. A red blood cell has a negative charge. That means that red blood cells are not supposed to be sticking together. They bounce around in the blood so they can go where they need to go, taking oxygen, taking off carbon dioxide and other waste, removing them from the body. That's what blood is supposed to do. That's what red blood cells are designed to do. But when you become acidic, when you down that Diet Coke, that Diet Pepsi, that Coca-Cola, that cup of coffee, that energy drink, when you down those things that are definitely pulling your acidity down or your pH down, what happens is you have a rouleau formation that starts to happen. That means that those pretty little red blood cells that were bouncing around, taking that oxygen like they were supposed to, they start stacking up. They look like coins in your bloodstream. They make these long chains, and they stack up. And they do this because when the blood is acidic, the red blood cells start trying to protect themselves. They lose their negative charge, they become positively charged, and they start sticking together to try to protect themselves from that acid. So two things happen. The pH changes in the blood loses the negative charge, and then the rouleau formation begins. Now, if you get enough of those chains going in the bloodstream and they start to stick together, if you notice on this screen that we have here, that all of a sudden that's not looking like a chain, that's starting to look like a lump or a clump. We call them blood clots. Red blood cells lose their negative charge, they begin to stick together, and then we have what's called a blood clot. And blood clots, when they're flowing through the blood, they're flowing through the system, if they're heading to an area of your heart, or if they're in a vessel that's heading to an area of your heart, you're going to have a heart attack. If they're in a vessel that's heading to an area of your brain, you're going to have a stroke. So sisters and brothers, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't drink X2O water for any other reason, then it is a certified clot buster. You drank this water for the right reason. If you don't care about looking beautiful, if you don't care about having beautiful energy, if you just care about being on the earth, being on this side of the dirt, that's a good enough reason to drink X2O water. Here's some other effects of blood clots. How many of you have seen these before? Varicose veins. What about this? Poor circulation that leads to necrosis. Necrosis means death. This individual in this picture, that leg that left leg, if that person does not soon get some alkalinity in their blood and get those clots that are blocking that vessel disseminated or dispersed, that individual is going to lose that leg below the knee. And if they continue to stay acidic, it's just going to be a matter of time before their doctor is going to keep cutting. And this person, if they survive all those surgeries, will have nothing left of those legs. Now, brain disorders. Brain disorders are at an all-time high. I told you earlier that your brain is 80% water. When your brain is dehydrated, a lot of crazy things can begin to happen. And when your blood is acidic and your brain is dehydrated, a lot of crazy things can happen. There is no wonder, ladies and gentlemen, that 1,200 people a day are being diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. Attention deficit disorders, I am a teacher. Attention deficit disorders are at an all-time high. Let me tell you, I can tell you that for myself. Kids can't sit still. They can't pay attention for more than a couple of seconds before they're like gnats. They're just bouncing all over the place. But my goodness, look at what they're drinking. They're sitting in the classroom with a Mountain Dew, 3 or 4 of them a day. I mean, we have got to turn this thing around. I know your doctor says it's something else, and God bless the doctor, but the doctor is not trained. Most doctors, I don't know if you're aware of this, but most doctors have 1 hour. 1 hour, that means a 1-hour class of nutrition. In all of those years that they spend in medical school and the undergrad work, 1 hour of nutrition. And then they're coming out here dealing with people who are sick because of nutritional issues. Does that make any sense to you? Do you understand why most of these doctors, if you have a headache, instead of telling you to take a nice colon cleanser, they tell you you might need to take this medication or that medication, pain reliever, this kind of thing. If my head is hurting, we need to find out the source of the problem. If my child is jumping around and acting crazy, we need to find out the source of the problem. Don't medicate the symptom, get to the root of the cause. Most people, though, don't get proper brain nourishment, or any other kind of nourishment for that matter. So Zuma has come up with this beautiful product. I don't know if you remember the fella who started the product called Focus Factor. It's really popular. It's still popular. But it was the first brain nutrient that was approved by the FDA. And this fella, he was so passionate about what he was doing that he decided to link up with Zuma to come up with a natural product that would help us stay focused, stay alert, improve our memory, improve our mood, mental and physical energy. It's called Focus Up. It's the pure energy think drink. Focus Up is designed for people who are on the go. Like I told you, I am a very busy woman. But one thing that I've been able to do since I started using the Focus Up is to stay on task. Be able to finish jobs in a timely fashion. Make sure that I understand where I'm going next, what I need to do next. We have a good friend of mine who has a little hyperactive little boy, and he's 8 years old, and she's been able to get him focused up. So we're not talking about something that's going to be harmful to children, this kind of thing. Naturally, you should consult with your physician, especially if you have any kind of sensitivities. But the thing is, your physician probably needs to be focused up. I hate to say it that way, but the truth is life. But Focus Up comes in a stick, in a drink stick and capsule form. I use both. In addition to Focus Up, Zuma is blessed to have a wonderful product. We have an ORAC value of 5 in the Blast product. Blast comes in 2 flavors, strawberry lemonade and grape. The U.S. Department of Health recommends that you have 7 to 10 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. 1 drink stick of Zuma Blast has an ORAC value of 5 servings of fruit. So if you can't get your little kitties to eat the veggies and eat fruit, or if you don't have time to eat it yourself, here we have a beautiful product where you can just drop it in some water, eat your fruits and veggies, and keep on getting up. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that this has been helpful to you. I really pray that you would give X2O, Focus Up, and the Blast a try. I know that if you're like me, when Diane Chapman brought me that sample to my school, life has been beautiful ever since. So as I said, X2O, Extreme X2O, takes your water's pH to 9.9. Let me tell you why that's important. See all those sodas down on that other end of the alkalinity scale? All of the acidic drinks that we drink take the acidity of the blood down, down, down. And when that happens, the body has sense enough. Your body is pretty smart. Your body has sense enough to know that if your blood drops below 7.365, that you're going to start getting sick. And if you stay sick long enough, disease will be chronic, permanent, and death will ensue. So the body knows that blood has to stay 7.365. So when you down that Coke, or you down that Pepsi or Diet Coke, what happens is the body, to neutralize the acid in that blood, that phosphoric acid in your soda that you put in your blood, to neutralize it, it has to go seeking minerals. So what it does is it'll go by the bones and snatch some out. It'll go by your teeth and snatch some out. It'll go by the cartilage and snatch some calcium out. It'll go and get magnesium from your muscles, potassium and sodium from your blood, from your tears, from your saliva. Have you ever seen so many people with artificial tears, buying artificial tears from the grocery store or from the drugstore? Toothpaste and mouthwash for dry mouth. All of these things are directly related, ladies and gentlemen, to acidity and dehydration. So let me tell you, I wanted to take this time to show you exactly what the body is doing when that happens. When you down that Diet Coke, okay, that coffee, all of those acidic drinks, your body has to go on the hunt, so to speak, for minerals. This is a brand new Diet Coke. And this is a little sachet of X2O. Now X2O, like I said before, has 70 trace minerals, 40 electrolytes. But just imagine these are in your bones and teeth, where they need to stay. These are in your blood, the magnesiums in your muscles, where it needs to stay. But here we have it right here, available, accessible to you in a little sachet. This is what happens when X2O comes in contact with acid in your blood. It begins to neutralize it. Now, would you prefer to have this little sachet have to do that work, or your teeth? Would you prefer to have the sachet do that work, or your blood, your saliva, your tears, your muscles? Your muscles need to keep that magnesium doing what it needs to do. Your colon needs to have that magnesium helping you have bowel movement, not neutralizing acid from a Coke or a Diet Coke or Pepsi or Diet Pepsi or Mountain Dew or Mountain Diet Mountain Dew. Now everybody's like, well, that's wonderful, that's glorious. How do I use this thing? Well, if you don't have a beautiful little Zuma bottle like I do, that is BPA free, which means it won't leach plastic into your water and continue to poison your body and give you breast cancer and all kinds of other cancers that petroleum will do when it gets into the human system. If you don't have a BPA free bottle, that's okay. X2O can be used right in a regular water bottle until you get your X2O bottle. Okay? You sign up with the company, they'll send you one of these beautiful bottles. But until you get it, you get yourself a bottle of water, you get your X2O sachet from the person that gave you this video, and then you open that bottle, drink a little out of it so you'll have a little room, drop that sachet right in there, give it a good shake for about 10-15 seconds, and let it sit for 5 minutes. What happens then, my ladies and gentlemen, my brothers and sisters, is when you drink that water, you are doing exactly what we just saw happen with this Coke. Any acid in your blood, any toxins in your system, it's going to go all the way through, because this water is going to go directly into your bloodstream. It's going to go ahead and start neutralizing that acid and cleaning up those toxins. That's what X2O will do for you. When Diane brought me my sample to my school, I was on planning. It was about 11:30 in the day. And I had 3 more classes to go. Didn't get to bed until about 1 o'clock that morning. Had to be up at 6 to get work. And she brought me the sample, brought me this beautiful little green bottle. She dropped that little sachet in my bottle, shook it up. We let it sit there for 5 minutes, and she started telling me about the other products. And so I said, okay, all right. And so I told her, I said, I'll see you later. So she said, can you come to my meeting tonight? She had a meeting at 7 o'clock that night. I said, Diane, I have 3 classes to teach. I have a table full of papers to check. My mother had already called me from the funeral home saying I had a body to embalm in Marion, which is about 45 minutes from where I live. I said, I don't know if I'll be up for a meeting at 7 o'clock after all of that. Ladies and gentlemen, here's my testimony. I drank this water. I took my capsules to focus up. My classes came in. My mood had improved to the point that my students thought something was wrong with me. They wanted to know why I was sitting there so calm and smiling while they were acting crazy in my classroom. Well, that's what happens when you take focus up. Your mood changes. But I figured it was in my head. You know the placebo effect. She told me this was going to happen, so that's all it is. Finished my day, was not stressed, was not tired. Sat at my desk for another hour and a half, checked 200 papers. That's pretty focused up. Went on home, changed clothes, because I wear scrubs when I embalm bodies. Drove to Marion in 45 minutes, embalmed the body. Drove back to Florence, which is 35 minutes away. Went to Diane's meeting at 7 o'clock and said, girlfriend, I don't know what that is you brought to the school, but I definitely need some more of it. Ladies and gentlemen, I am standing here today 2 months after beginning this water, 10 pounds lighter, total attitude change. My daughter told me the other day, she's a snuggler, Victory, she's all up under me. She says, Mama, do you know that this is the first time in my lifetime you didn't smell like coffee? Ladies and gentlemen, I've been drinking coffee since I was 6 years old. I'm 43. I have not had a cup of coffee in 2 months. Don't have a desire for it, threw it all out of my house. That's unheard of. My family can't even believe it. I was such a coffee addict. 3, 4, 5 cups of coffee a day. 2 Red Bulls a day. Trying to stay on top of all the work that I had at school. Trying to keep my composure. Trying to make sure that I didn't crash and burn. All the while, crashing and burning unbeknownst to me. But let me tell you something. Life can change.
I met a few people that said it couldn't be done. You gotta have a vision. You gotta have faith. We owe it to ourselves to give it all we got for our families. And through this window of time, we gotta go out and we gotta seize the moment. And we gotta be relentless in this moment.
Diane Chapman is living the American dream, and she knows what it takes to help you make your dreams a reality. Why do this? Risky business. Why'd you take it on?
Because I believed in my whole life that I could achieve anything in life that I wanted to. And the only thing that was missing was a vehicle. And when I found out about network marketing and the fact that this was an industry that you can leverage yourself through, it made sense to me to go for it. And I just want to inspire people from all walks of life. If in fact this is something that you want to do, is achieve your dreams, then this industry is certainly an industry that you could be able to maximize their dreams. And that's just something that I want to always encourage people to do, is go after their dreams. I'm fired up. That's wonderful.
Today, she is considered an icon in the industry.
If you want to get some pointers on how to be successful in this industry or in life in general, Diane Chapman's the gal you want to be listening to.
In an industry that's mostly dominated by males, Diane's style and character, once again I say, to be able to achieve the level of success with the honor and dignity that she has done that and maintained the relationship with her family and her friends, to me, is unprecedented in the industry.
You'll find this small-town girl's success story almost everywhere you look. You're either reading about her in magazines or between the covers of some of the best motivational books available. And those books talk about an income in excess of $50,000 per month.
I met a few people that said it couldn't be done. I met a few people that have said a couple times to me, Diane, you gotta be crazy. I can't believe that you made the kind of commitment. You see, folks, it's not me that's the crazy one. You understand? I know what I see. You got to have a vision.
It doesn't cost you anything to choose to associate with high, powerful, motivational types of people, to associate with people who think in a positive manner. Diane has a prosperous mentality. She has overcome so many obstacles.
All I know that through my life, it just never felt good as a child being broke.
And they work. She has carved out a career that is admired in countless circles.
A not-for-profit organization, and especially a charitable foundation, depends on very resourceful people. Diane Chapman is a very successful entrepreneur. She's very resourceful and valuable to us.
Well, I think from a woman's perspective, Diane has always been the type of a person who persevered at anything that she ever has gone out to try to accomplish. And to look at where she is today, not with just material things, but spiritual things, a heart, the compassion that Diane carries deep within herself. And she's a true person. She's a person that every time that you see Diane, she's the same kind of person. She's always has that bubbly personality. And she's just Diane and I have always had this thing about one another. We always love to hug one another, and it doesn't matter where we're at. It doesn't matter what color we are. You know, all of those barriers are broken between us, and Diane's just a real person.
If I had 3 words to say for Diane, that would be good, godly, and dynamic. And those are the 3 primary ingredients that needs to be added into the mix of a successful business and a successful leader. And to follow someone that has already proven to be successful, and that a person from where she comes from can do this, then it inspires us to know we can reach within and know that we can do something great. Or we can work a little bit and reap a little reward, which is nothing wrong with going in on a part-time as far as a network marketing company and making a little extra money. You know, maybe it's vacation money, whatever you want to have in life. But at the same time, the harder you work, the more you persevere, the more successful you'll become. And it's inevitable. This is the field, this is the industry that has proven time and time again that the harder you work, the more you stay with it, the more you become coachable, the more success that it'll bring to you.
We owe it to ourselves to give it all we got for our families. Because you see, when the movie is over and you get to be the star player in your own movie, when the movie is over and you look your spouses in the face, and when you look your children in the face, and they saw you go out night after night after night. Folks, when you go out to pay the price, you make sure you bring home the bacon. Don't you go out there and pay the price and don't bring the goodies home. You see, because folks get upset about stuff like that. You can't lay it on the line and then not win. See, one thing about me, my butt's always turning. I've always wanted to be somebody. When I look in the mirror, I'd be proud of. See, that's the kind of feeling that you want to have when you go out there and you lay it on the line.
Hi. First of all, I want to just say that, Poet, you did a fabulous job. I'll never forget the first time that I heard you present this information. And I kept thinking, boy, if we could just get that on some form of a DVD or some platform that people could get this information. Every time I hear it, you know, it's like I get so excited and I'm so fired up about this information. So I just want to thank you, Poet, for doing such a fabulous job in sharing from the bottom of your heart this information as it relates to changing the health of a generation. My name is Diane Chapman, and I reside in Florence, South Carolina. And I got introduced to this company. Actually, I'm on my first year anniversary. June actually makes 1 year that I've been involved with this company. I want to share just a little bit about myself. I am married and I have 2 boys. I have one that has just finished the University of South Carolina, and then I have one that's in the 3rd grade. I have a little 8-year-old that actually Poet alluded to earlier in the presentation. I have studied in chemistry with a minor in biology. Worked as a registered respiratory therapist for many years at one of the hospitals here in South Carolina. And when I was 28 years old, I decided to pursue a career in entrepreneurship, started my own business, worked in different areas of marketing. And I'm going to tell you what, over the last 28 years of being involved with marketing, and being involved with companies, have risen to some of the top companies in this industry. I enjoy working in a field that talks about leveraging your income. I learned when I was 28 years old that there was 3 ways to earn an income. And that was, and I always reference it as the M's, and that is man at work, his money at work, and the multiples at work. And I tell you what I learned early on in life is that you work for 40 hours, you work for 40% of what you could afford to live on when you retire, and you work those 40 hours in 40 years. And I said, that 40 by 40 by 40 plan, I didn't want to end up like everybody else. And as I would go into work every day, working as a registered respiratory therapist, it was like my paycheck was already spent before I already got my check. I don't know whether any of you can relate to that, but that is where I was. I did not like not having any income at the end of the week when I paid all my bills and then there was nothing else left. And so I started to pursue some other measures and looking at some other things that could create an avenue that I could be able to fulfill my dreams. And that's why I got into marketing. That's why I chose network marketing. And the reason I chose this particular industry is because I know that this is an industry that look at average, ordinary people with extraordinary goals and dreams, and they help them to fulfill and realize their dreams. And I said, well, if this is a company and this is an industry that would allow a person to do that, and I know I am an average, ordinary person trying to strive to achieve some greatnesses in my life, I said, wow, let me see what this industry have to offer. And there I was, 28 years, set sail. I can tell you what, that I could say I feel like Noah, or I feel like the dove that flew out of Noah's ark. And I can come back and say that the land is dry. I know that this is an industry that can take persons like yourself who may be struggling and who may be looking for a way to create financial independence. I know that this is an industry that can allow you to do that. As a mother of 2, I've never been able to have, after getting involved with this industry, I never had to call a boss and ask anybody, could I be off from work because I have a sick child? I never had to ask anybody if I wasn't feeling well myself. You know how it is, mothers, those of you that have had young children and currently have young children, that you sometimes have to basically ask the boss, can you be off from work when you're sick, maybe a child sick, spouse, or significant other. And depending upon what's going on in the corporation, you may or may not be able to take off. And all I know is those field trips I never had to miss. I was there for my kids. And this is what this industry have allowed me to do. Not only have I been able to reach the financial successes that I've always dreamed about, even from a child, but I'm just telling you folks, when you look at this compensation plan that I'm going to share with you, I don't know what your dreams are, I don't know what your goals are, I don't know whether an extra $500 to $1,000 would make a difference in your life, I don't know whether a couple extra $1,000 would make a difference in your life. I don't know whether you're looking for financial independence or freedom, but whatever it is that you may be looking for, my hope for you is that you could find it with this fabulous company called Zuma Worldwide. And as Poet mentioned earlier, this is an 18-year-old company. And this is a company that's been around for a while. And in my experience in this industry, that is so crucial that you get with a company that's solid, that you get with a company that has the stability, that you don't have to worry about whether or not it's here today or gone tomorrow. One of the things the Poet mentioned in her presentation was that she's never done marketing and network marketing and this type of thing. That was just not her thing. She shared with you earlier what her trade is. You may be able to relate to what she's talking about. And then there are some of you that look at me and you may say, well, I've always been in some type of sales or marketing or whatever the case may be. But it doesn't matter what your walk of life is. It doesn't matter whether you're an educator. It doesn't matter whether you're a preacher, teacher, coach. It doesn't matter whether you're a physician, whether you're an attorney. Anybody looking at the information that's been shared thus far, you have that opportunity to be able to make changes financially in your life. And my objective today is to basically share with you the compensation plan and share with you what Zuma Worldwide has to offer or have to offer. So to begin with this, I wanted to share with you that you're getting ready to look at the best compensation plan, in my opinion, in the industry. And due to the fact that I spent several decades in this industry and have looked at a lot of different compensation plans, I can surely share with you that this is one of the best I believe that you will ever see. Certainly is the best that I've ever seen. And they've got exclusive proven programs and track records that many have experienced tremendous success. And you can position yourself to be able to truly earn a significant income. Now, I am here today to share with you that there are 8 different ways that this company provides compensation to any person starting in this opportunity. And I won't cover all 8 for time, but if you decide to participate and become a part of this great company, then you will certainly learn. I will highlight a few in terms of some of the ways that we get paid. And the first thing I want to talk about is those products that Poet talked to you about in this presentation. She shared with you about the Extreme X2O. She talked about the Focus Up. She also shared with you about our Zuma Blast. And I'm going to share with you how you can get those products for free each and every month. And in this compensation plan, there are a couple things that we do to be able to make that become a reality. Number one, what we want to do, we can start with an initial $100 purchase. If you choose that you want to get that combination of products, you can start with a $100 product purchase. And in that purchase, you're going to get those combination of products. Now, when you help 4 other people just like yourself, and they're spending and purchasing a product order of $100 a month as well, then guess what? You get yours for free. Diane, did you say free? I said for free. And how do you get it for free again? Well, you basically spend $100 a month and you get the combination of the product. And then you share that with 4 other people, and when they do the same, basically you've offset the cost of your product. The company is sending you right at $100, a little over $100 a month, and so that's going to offset your product. But in addition to that, folks, if you're really looking for a way to build a business and create residual income, putting yourself in a position where you get paid in your absence, just hang with me just a little bit longer. Let me share with you how that works. Let's say, for an example, of the 4 people that you actually introduced to the company, those individuals wants to get their product for free as well. So they know 4 other people that would be spending $100 a month just like them. And when that happens, this company now starts to send you $500 a month in reoccurring income every single month. That's right, folks. 20 people basically get you $500 a month. So you're saying the 4 that are spending $100 a month just like you? Yes. And those 4 actually end up getting 4 themselves, which is another 16. And so with the combination of you and them, that you guys are spending $100 a month, now that's putting $500 a month in your income. But that is just one way that we get paid. There's so many other ways that we get paid as well. And I'm getting ready to talk about our dual prosperity compensation plan now. And with that particular plan, let me just share a couple things that are happening when, in fact, you start to actually develop a team. You have really what they call a left team and a right team. So we've got two teams to actually build. And when you start doing that, based upon the number of people that are actually joining your business, along with the support of your upline, as you begin to work together, folks, the money start flowing from the bottom up. And this company will start to pay you 15% on your lesser leg or on the lesser team that's building the business volume of those that are drinking X2O water, those that are drinking the Focus Up and taking the capsules, those individuals that are taking the blast. And let me just pause for a moment. I want you to understand, we have over 30 different product lines. It's like having your own GNC store online yourself, that you can go online and you can look at some of the omega-3s. You can look at some of the enzymes. You can look at some of the other products that we have. And then you can decide basically what you need for your own body. But we're just highlighting just a few. And with that, we wanted you to know that you can actually earn up to 15% and you can maximize this compensation plan on the dual prosperity side of it up to $15,000 a week. And folks, when I tell you and share with you that a person could position themselves with a team and start to earn that kind of income by helping change the health of a generation, folks, that is exactly what we're doing. And in addition to that, you can actually match the individuals, the partners, the persons that you bring into this business. You can actually match their income 25%. What do you mean, Diane? Well, remember those 4 people that you brought into business initially? And you don't have to stop at just 4, but I'm just using that as an example. If they made $1,000, do you know you can match their income 25% of that 1,000? Now they still get their 1,000, but because you were the one that brought that business partner to the company, and you were the one that started to work with them and help them to grow their income, the company is going to allow you an additional compensation plan where they are going to compensate you 25% off of all of your personally sponsored representatives. And it doesn't stop there. I want to share with you another stream of income, because I shared with you that there were 8 different ways we get paid, and I'm going to just highlight a few. But another one of the highlights that I want to bring to your attention is that the company pays you a generational match. A matter of fact, you can actually earn 10% of 4 generations of individuals and business partners that's a part of your team. And I'm not talking about 4 levels. I'm talking about 4 generations. And there's a significant difference between a generation and a level. But you can actually match up to 4 generations of incomes of the individuals that you have that's a part of your team. And what I want to do now is I actually want to break it down a little bit more to make sure that at the conclusion of this DVD that you get a clear understanding of exactly some of the highlights in which this company pays. Now, again, remember earlier when I said if you were spending $100 a month and then you had 4 other people that was doing the exact same thing, that you would get your product basically for free. And see, there it is. It breaks it out. It shows you the X2O. It shows you the Focus Up. And that combination of the different products. And again, you get to match that 25%. You've got your 4 on your first levels, your 16 on your second, and now you're starting to make an average of about $500 a month. In addition to that, I want to break down this compensation plan a little bit more in a different graph so that you can still be able to understand exactly the way the compensation plan works. Now we're going to talk about a 6-figure income chart. We want to talk to you about getting the issue of money out of the way. We want to talk to you about putting yourself in position that if you got kids that you still want to educate, that if you've got a retirement that may not be supplementing itself to the level in which you want it to, we want to break down this compensation plan just a little bit more. And another example, that if whatever the dreams and goals it is that you may have for yourself, that this company will allow you that opportunity to be able to do that. Now, as these graphs begins to come up, this is a simple process of duplication. And as I begin to share, again, another example, breaking it down to a level that everybody that's watching this DVD will understand how this compensation plan works. Now, again, we talked about making your initial $100 order that had the combination of the different products that's already been highlighted. And in addition to that, you want to refer 4 other individuals where they're now spending $100 a month themselves, and then they can begin to get their products free. I want to share with you that if you help the 4 people that you brought in the business, everybody's spending $100, and the ones that you've got, they're spending $100 a month as well. Now again, as we mentioned on the previous slide, you're earning $500 a month in recurring income. But it's not all about you. It's about your team. It's about helping others. It's about the duplication process. It's about putting other people in a position so that they can begin to earn an income as well. And now I'm going to go over that chart for you. So when you help the 4 people earn an extra $500 a month, then what starts to happen is that you too, in addition to them, are earning an income as well. Now you position yourself where you're earning $1,000 a month. So you're saying, when I help 4 people make $500 a month, now I'm making $1,000 a month. That's exactly what I'm saying. And it doesn't stop there. When you help the individuals, those 4 individuals, earn $1,000 a month, that takes your income to $3,000 a month. So it's just a duplication. It's just a simplicity of numbers. It's just a duplication process that's taking place. The business partners that you have in the business with you, as you help them move up the ladders of the stairway of success, then you move up the ladder of the stairway of success. You can't help enough people get what they want and then you not get yours. So you're going to be compensated by building a team. And as these customers and as these individuals' health begins to change, it's just amazing just to see the kind of income. But we're going to go just a step further. When you have the 4 individuals that you brought in the business and now they're at the level where you previously were and they're earning $3,000 a month, that's going to take your income to over $15,000 a month on a reoccurring basis. Folks, I don't know about you, but for most people, if they can position themselves well, on a monthly basis that they're earning an extra $15,000 a month, I have to ask you the question, what would you do with that? How would that better your life? How would that put you in a situation where you could help your children, you maybe even a significant other? How does that position you where you could help your community? What would that do for you if you could help your church? There are many times that in the community there are things that needs to be done. Other family members may call on you for support. And although your heart is there, but the finances may not be there. And this gives you an opportunity to create a platform where there's more than enough. We talked earlier about getting money as an issue out of the way so that you can begin to then have choices and options in your life. And that's all this DVD is about. That's all this compensation program is about, is putting you in a position where you can have options in your life. Now, if I could just speak to your hearts just for a moment and just share with you some of my experiences that I've had as I've been a part of this industry for several decades, that there's never been a company that I've ever been affiliated with that there was not some type of joining fee. Just to get my name on the road, just to have my name in the company, there was always some type of fee that you always had to pay. Well, I can share with you, this company, I mean, there's no sign-up fees, and since the internet is coming to play, a lot of companies have found a way to create replicated websites where you would pay a monthly fee every single month just to have your name on a replicated site. Well, you get a replicated site here as well, but you don't have to pay for it. The company provides the opportunity for us to come, make our product purchase, everybody else joins, make a product purchase, no website fees. And I was so turned on and so excited about that. I said, you have got to be kidding me. You mean we don't have to pay anything to join this opportunity? And when I learned that, I knew that we had something very, very special in our hands. So we just activate with a product order, and then we just start referring other people to the company where they can buy their own product based upon their own personal needs, and then we just duplicate that process. Now, I just want to share with you the different packets that a person could actually start with in the company. As you can see, there's the Zuma bottle, and there's the X2O, then we've got the Focus Up in the Blast. That's a $100 combination product. That is a product purchase that you can make for your own self individually. Now that is not a family pack, that's an individual pack. And if I could be a little personal for a moment and just share with you, I bought one of those packets, you know, when I first started with my little samples. I had my little samples at first and got my little first little $100 pack. And then the next thing I knew, my husband, he was dipping in the box, and I had 2 other sons, they were dipping in the box, and within a week, I was out of my product, because it's hard to have something make you feel so good and you not share it with other people. And I remember saying to him, "What you doing in my stuff? Get out of my stuff. Get out of my box." I'm like, "You got to get your own stuff." And so we didn't have enough. And then we found out that we could have purchased one of the other packages that would allow us a little bit more product. But I will let you know that with this $100 pack, it will make you cashback qualified, which means that once you purchase an order of $100 and above, it does put you in a compensation plan where you can begin to earn commission from other individuals who purchase the $100 pack. But this one was really the one that, if we were just looking at just my husband, my 2 boys, and myself, this one was really the one that we should have gotten, because it was at least enough to get us started for several weeks where we could really get this product into our bodies, into our system. And so this kind of gives you like a family pack. Now, it is not enough for your cousin. It's not enough for your sisters and your brothers. It's not enough for your colleagues, although you're going to share it. And you're going to be in the same situation that I was in with my little $100 pack with my spouse and with my children. And so if you're wanting to get a pack for the family within your own household, this one is a good choice, because it'll double the $100 pack of the products that's in. And then as we began to have such a significant difference with our family and utilizing these different products, and we learned about another product, another packet that the company had that would allow a person to be able to have more product. But I know with this $199 pack, at least it made us cashback qualified. Plus, we were Rapid Rewards qualified, which means that every single month, when we help other individuals buy these packets as well, we would get those reoccurring residuals and incomes coming in. But I want to stick with the packets and explain each one so that you can choose which one is going to be best for you and your family. Now, I'm going to talk about another pack, and that's a performance pack. Now, that's for those individuals like myself who may have been in this industry before, may never have been in this industry before. But I will say this to you. This one is one that allows you to have enough product for you and your family. It allows you enough product to be able to share with other people. Now you can give a little bit to your cousin. Now you can give some to your pastor. Now you can give some to the people that you love and you care about. Now you've got enough in there that, especially if you're looking at this from a business perspective, now you'll be able to say, "Look, y'all got to try this. I got a little bit of my stuff that I put together. All I can tell you is I can't make no predictions. I don't know what it's going to do for you, but I can tell you what. When I started drinking this X2O water, when this stuff started happening for me, when it got to the cellular level and it got to the heart of the matter and it got to washing out, you know, the toxins that was in my body, I'm going to tell you what, this is the way that I felt. And for me, on a personal basis, I'm going to just stop right here and just share my personal story, because when I started drinking the X2O water, my family started drinking the X2O water. And I will tell you, when I lost 22 pounds on the product, I just drinking the water, didn't change anything about my diet, except I got off of coffees and I got off those sodas. I wasn't a heavy soda drinker, but I did drink. I mean, it wasn't nothing like a good old cold Pepsi on a cold afternoon. That thing just burned going down. Didn't realize it was acid that was really burning going down. But I can tell you, I quit with a lot of the beverages that I found out that was acidic. And just continue to drink several bottles of the water. And I just want you to know that as you begin to feel better, you can't keep it to yourself. It's like anything that you find that is good for you. How you going to keep that to yourself? You can't. And so that $4.99 pack actually allows you, again, a position to be able to sample other people. And you say, "Look, try it. See whether or not it worked for you like it did for me. And if it does, then you can make your own product order. I'm going to sample. I'm going to sow this in your life. I'm going to give you this. But if this does for you what it's done for me, we got something to talk about." Now I want to let you know that there's another packet. And it's a $9.99 pack. And that's just double the packet of the $4.99. And those are individuals that are purchasing those packets because they want to have a $4.99 pack with them, so that if they brought another business partner in, or someone who really want to bless their families and others around them, then they can have enough that they'll be able to do that. Or they may want to give that person a $4.99 pack, so when they start, they already got their product right there. They don't have to wait until the company ship it to them, although it only takes about 3 to 5 days for it to come, no matter where you are in the United States. Typically, that's about the length of time, but it's nothing like immediate gratification. Y'all know that's the kind of society that we live in today. We want it right now. And so that puts you in a position to be able to do that. There's another pack where we have some business executives that have joined our team, and this puts them in a position where they have about 4 or 5 of those packs, the same one that I described, but it's just a couple more packs. And it allows you that if there was somebody, again, that you wanted to start with these different packets, you would have that product available for you. And so, again, what all comes in it? Folks, you're going to get 5 boxes of the Focus Up sticks. You're going to get 5 packs of the Focus Up samples, where you'll be able to sample individuals. You're going to get brochures. You're going to get Zuma bottles. I mean, you're going to get the X2O. It's just going to be a lot of product that you will be able to actually share with those that you love and that you care about. Now, as we go on to the next slide, it don't matter what door you come in. Whether you come in the $100 door, the $199 door, whether you come in the $4.99 door, the $9.99 door, or the $24.99 door, just come in a door. Select one. If you really care about your health, you want to select a door. And when you select that door, you step in. You step in the door that best describes your situation. Somebody else may come in a $4.99 door, and you may say, look, I'd love to come in that door, but based on my finances right now, the only door I can step in is the $100 door. The only door I can step in is that $199 door. Well, just select. You get in where you fit in. And so whatever those choices are that best fit your need, that's what we want to encourage you to do. We are not here to try to cram anything down anybody's throat. We just want to make it available, and then you select what feels best for you. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about is the what ifs. And this is probably one of my favorite things that I want to share as we kind of wind this DVD down. The what if we are good enough to pull this off? What do you mean pull this off? What if we are good enough to change the health of a generation? What if we are good enough to help regulate somebody's blood pressure or diabetes? Now, we're not telling you that that's what we're going to do, but what if we are? What if being on our product, somebody that suffers with these different illnesses, by taking advantage of our products, they find themselves in a regulated situation where some of the things that were taught earlier in the DVD, that you find yourself feeling a whole lot better, like some of the people and some of the customers that we have. What if we are able to stop somebody's foot from hurting due to some of the inflammatory issues and gout issues and arthritic conditions that people are suffering with? What if we are? I mean, what if you try the product and it actually works? I mean, can you imagine somebody who suffers on a day-to-day basis and they're not anymore? Do you think they're going to keep quiet and not tell somebody about it? How can I see somebody who's overweight, knowing I've dropped 22 pounds after drinking this water, and not share it with somebody else? Can I say you're going to drop 22? No. But can I tell you about me? Yes. And can I hope for you that you will experience some of the same things? Absolutely. What if we are good enough that we can help a person earn an extra $500 to $1,000 a month? Can you understand, folks, this company pays every single Thursday. When we go to the mailbox on Thursday, I know that's old-fashioned. Because with technology today, most companies usually will pay you on some type of Visa or MasterCard or direct deposit or something like that. And I've experienced all that in my past, but let me tell you, there is nothing like walking out of your front door, going to your mailbox, and there's a check in the mail with your name on it. Now, let me explain something to you. Unlike Ed McMahon, our checks show up. Well, how often do they show up? Every single week. So what if we can position you where you're earning an extra $3,000 to $5,000 a month? What if we are able to put you in a position that through helping you build your network and your team, that your income is exceeding an extra 10, 15, 20, $1,000 a month, what would that do for you? How would that position you and your family? Now, I could tell you about some crazy numbers that I've earned in this industry, but I'm not going to go there with you right now. I just want to stick with this presentation because it's hard for me to hold down my enthusiasm and my excitement when I've been and have seen this movie before. Really and truly, this information that you're getting today, we just want you to put yourself in position, lock in your position. Timing and positioning is the key to any success. If you can find the right opportunity at the right time, and you can position yourself right there in the middle, can you understand what that could mean for you over the next 12 to 18 to 24 months? You see, companies go through several stages as they develop their developmental growth. They go through a stage that's called formulation, and then they go through concentration, momentum, and then they kind of stabilize. Well, we have less than 10,000 representatives in the United States right now. Our company is poised for greatness. It's a beautiful thing to get a hold of an opportunity when the timing is right, and the timing is right for you. When those two things come together, that equals success all day long. And I'm going to talk about that just for a minute because, you guys, I was very privileged back in the mid-90s to take advantage of the telecommunications industry when the breakup took place, when that monopoly was broken up. And to be able to have experienced millions of dollars sent to my family through that, all that was timing and positioning and me putting myself in the middle of success. I thank God every day for that, as Coit would call it, that miracle call and that miracle answer. Somebody call you about a business opportunity is one thing, but when you answer that business call is another. And I am so grateful every single day that I took that call and that I went out and built a network, and there were people that were part of my organization to the tune of over 30,000 representatives that when they dial, we all smile. That income, that residual income that began to come in, folks, we were so excited about that. When people pressed 1, the area code and the number, that there was a residual income that came in on a month-to-month reoccurring basis. Folks, that's what we're talking about. It's just another era. It's just another timing. It's just another positioning where we can help other individuals, help us change the health of a generation. What do you mean by help us change the health of a generation? I just want to appeal to the entrepreneur right now. I just want to appeal to the person that's sick and tired of being sick and tired. I just want to appeal to the person right now that want that extra income coming in their absence. Most people work every single day for the money. That's right. They even have songs out. I work hard for my money. Well, I just want to share with you. You can still work hard for your money, but don't be present at every dime that you earn. Folks, you can position yourself to get paid in your absence. Some of the wealthiest people in this country was not present when the dollar was churned, but the churning of the dollar still took place. That's what we're talking about. When you had thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of customers reordering their X2O, still wanting to get the brain supplement of the focus up, to be able to have that energy level that they need, to be able to have the ORAC value of the 5 servings of fruits and vegetables that the blast allows and affords a person to have. As individuals begin to see the difference in their health, that income, somebody's going to get paid from that, and it might as well be you. Now, as I conclude this, I want to go back to a point that I was making earlier. You heard me talk about that 40 by 40 plan. And all I could think about when I was 28 years old, and I started out, well, actually when I was, after being in corporate America for some years, and I was on that 40 by 40 plan, because working as a registered respiratory therapist, you're working in the medical arena, especially when you're talking about some 28, 30 years ago. You know, folks, that was a plan that I was on. There was no question. If I just did what I was supposed to do, I would have had an opportunity in a career to be there and to retire as a registered respiratory therapist. But the thing that I didn't like was that every 2 weeks when I get my check, it was already spent before I got it. I knew everybody who was getting it. And I was at the back of the line and everybody was at the front of the line. And by the time it got to me, there wasn't a whole lot left. Can y'all relate to that? Anybody can understand that? So that's where I was, and I didn't like that feeling. I never liked the feeling of being broke. I come from a family where there were 9 of us in our family, and I'm the 8th of 9 children. And I promise you, if you got a mother and a father trying to feed, as they would call in the South, 9-headed children, there wasn't a whole lot of nothing that by the time it got to me and some of the others. So I just didn't like the feeling of never having enough. And so I knew when I got to college and I got my little education, I got my job. And when I started getting my paycheck, I was going to be set. Only to find that it was still giving out. I ran out of money before I ran out of month. There was still sometimes some month left over at the end of the money. And if I stayed on that plan and I continued down that road, they tell us that insanity is a person that's continuing to do the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Well, I was fortunate enough to get a hold of some information early on in my life. And I didn't want to be like everybody else that stayed on that 40 by 40 by 40 plan, which is you work 40 hours, you work for 40 years to end up earning 40% of what you couldn't afford to live on in the first place. It was like really, truly, some people say, I was on a train, and that train was not getting me where I wanted to go. Well, I felt like, really and truly, I can say this because I'm from the South, I felt like I was on a wagon and my mule had broken down. And I needed to get somewhere fast and in a hurry that would take me where I wanted to go. And that's when I chose this industry. That's when I chose network marketing. Some people reference it as multi-level marketing. I don't care what you call it. Y'all, let me tell you, it just takes average, ordinary people with extraordinary goals and dreams. And it positions you, if you can find the right company at the right time, you can become and help to realize the dreams that you want for you and your family. You know, it's been an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to be able to share this presentation with you today. Time is a precious thing. The only thing you can do with time is spend it. You can't loan your time to anybody, and nobody can borrow it. The only thing you could ever do with time is spend it. And I've been honored that you have chosen to spend this time with me as I've shared this presentation with you. And my prayer for you is this: if you see a business, if you see an opportunity, if you see a way that maybe you could help others, that we invite you to become a part of what we are part of. This is Zuma Worldwide out of Hampton, Virginia. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.